Right, we were focusing on OSPF network types. We were in NBMA type 4 up to type 3 is covered. A quick reminder, this one is the default and there will be DR/BDR. So recommended only if you have full mesh. And the timer is 40 and 120. Same subnets. Neighbors are statically configured. Whereas in point to multipoint, neighbors are dynamically discovered, no DR/BDR. The timer is same. Subnet is also same subnet. The third one that we saw is the best of the above two. The best one from the first is static. When you configure neighbors statically in NBMA, it is more secure. Dynamic discovery is not really recommended. So here neighbors are statically configured, manually configured. And the best of the second one is no DR/BDR. Right. Next. The timers are 40 and 120, same subnet. Up to this much we have finished. Remember, we have a frame relay. When we have frame relay, and if you expect the dynamic discovery of neighbor, and if you expect the timer to be 10 and 1, 10 and 40, you got what? Frame relay. In the all three we saw timers are 40 and 30 and 120. But if you expect the timer to be 10 and 40 in that same frame relay environment, in that NBMA environment, and dynamic discovery of neighbor, same subnet, what does this tells you? It tells you that we are expecting OSPF in this frame relay same as what we saw in the normal broadcast environment. In a normal broadcast environment, neighbors are dynamically discovered, right? In an Ethernet environment, timers are 40 and 10 and 40, no? Hello and dead. Same subnet, no? This is what by default we see in a broadcast environment. And if you expect the same thing to be in frame relay environment, you need to just change the type as broadcast. Let me do and show you this first, and then we'll go to the fourth one. So this is the topology that we were seeing from early NBMA topic from the beginning, and we got the same subnet everywhere. Right now let me see what is configured. Show IP OSPF interface serial 2/0. It says point to multipoint. Actually it is point to multipoint non-broadcast because it's Cisco's, it's not showing here. Show run will show you. Show run interface serial 2/0. We got the third method, you see, point to multipoint non-broadcast. This non-broadcast won't appear in the previous output because as per standard they have designed the output. This non-broadcast, point to multipoint non-broadcast. This third type is Cisco proprietary, Cisco's idea. Now I'm going to remove this. Interface serial 2/0. No. Right, I'm going to do this on all other three routers. Not only that, I also want to see anything else to remove. Neighbors might be statically configured. Do show run section router. Those neighbors should be removed. So we'll remove this from OSPF. Router OSPF 1. And now I'm going to paste this on router 1. Done. Remove OSPF, also the neighbors. And the neighbor should be 1 removed from here. We're just deleting the old configuration. Okay, now all those configurations are removed. I should not see now neighbor show IP, OSPF neighbor, no neighbors. Can someone tell me what will be the network type now? What will be the network type now?
The broadcast.
What you are saying? Please think and tell, no? How it will be broadcast? Tell me.
Sir, by default in this OSPF, it will be broadcast. I have removed everything. It will be broadcast. No problem.
If it is Ethernet.
If it is Ethernet, okay. Sorry. Oh yeah. Okay.
What is the network type now? Can anyone answer?
Point to multipoint.
Oh my God! What happened to you? You also had 1 day break. When you have serial with frame relay, what is the default? Even today I started the class with that.
I missed it. Yesterday I didn't. Non-broadcast.
Non-broadcast.
Non-broadcast multi.
Don't follow Sushil, okay? Sushil is saying something and you are repeating the same thing. Joseph, that's not fair. He came late today, so he is doing that mistake. You need not to repeat that same thing.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Show IP OSPF interface serial 2/0. It is non-broadcast. It's non-broadcast. When you have frame relay or PPP, sorry, not PPP. When you have frame relay or X.25 or ATM, the default network type is going to be non-broadcast. Now the timer is 30 and 120. The neighbors are statically configured to form neighbors. Those things are there. But what we discussed is if I want OSPF to behave as if it behaves in a Ethernet environment. Repeating again, even though I have frame relay, if I want my OSPF to behave like as it behaves in an Ethernet environment, meaning every 10 seconds, hello, 40 seconds is the dead timer, dynamic discovery of neighbor, and what else? DR, BDR. All this will be happening. Same subnet. See, same subnet. 10.1, 10.3, 10.4. Same subnet. So if you want these in a frame relay environment, You need to configure this. Listen. In a real broadcast environment, you no need to configure this to achieve this. But in a frame relay environment, to achieve broadcast, you need to say IP OSPF network type broadcast. Now, though it is a frame relay, it will pretend, it will assume, it will work as if it works in an Ethernet environment. But you don't really have Ethernet. Do show history. Now I'll paste this on router 2, router 3 and router 4. Done. Now you are going to see the neighbors coming up. Look at this. The neighbor comes up dynamically. And if you see the timer, show IP OSPF interface serial 2/0. See, the timer is 10 and 40. Even though you got frame relay, the timer is 10 and 40. Even though it's a frame relay, it is 10 and 40. And you see the network type is broadcast. Yeah, and I also said there will be DR-BDR election. So there is a designated router. Show IP OSPF neighbor. You see? Okay, you know why it is not showing BDR? Because earlier, long time back, I put priority 0 on this interface. Show IP, show run interface serial 2/0. I have put priority 0. And so I don't have DR-BDR, but it will usually form DR-BDR. See? So if you want all these things, then you need to change it as what? Broadcast. See? I changed it as broadcast. Is this clear for you? Third one. Sorry, fourth one. Is this clear for you? OSPF network type broadcast in NBMA. Is it clear for you, Shivaram?
Yes, sir, it's clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next what we are going to do is, we are going to learn the fifth one. Fifth one will take some time. That's why I'm doing separately now. Fifth one is, if you will have $20, $30 different subnets, if you have different subnets, then your frame relay will also be separately mapped. You already have 3 tunnels, but here there will be some consideration need to be done. I'll show you what it is. Listen. One of your branch office is in 10, another branch office is in 20, another branch office is in 30. Can this interface talk to all 3 networks? No. This interface has got 10. 10 will only talk to 10. So if I want multiple networks on this interface, what I need to do is I need to create sub-interface. Already we have one sub-interface, let's say as 2/0, not sub-interface, we have physical interface, now I am making sub-interface. 2/0.1, we are going to put this address. And then 2/0.2. We are going to say 20.0.0.1. And then we are going to say serial 2/0.3. 30.0.0.3. You understand what I'm doing? I'm creating 3 interfaces so that I can talk to 3 different subnets in the remote. Now, you cannot have a broadcast here. Why? Broadcast means they all need to be in same subnet. So what we do, we say IP OSPF network type point to point, point to point, point to point. So that you will have 3 neighbors. There won't be DR-BDR election. So, no DR-BDR. Then 3 separate subnet. Timer is 10 and 40. Same like what you see in a normal point-to-point environment without frame relay. When you have HDLC and PPP, how you were seeing OSPF. Forming neighbor dynamically, no? So the dynamic discovery of neighbor. No, no DR-BDR. Timer will be 10 and 40. Different subnets. Yep. Now, I'm going to show you these things. So quickly, let me change the IP address here to 20. On router 3, interface serial 2/0 focus. IP address, I'm saying 20.0.0.3. And on R4, interface serial 2/0, IP address 30.0.0.3. What is this? I'm typing. Okay. So next thing is I need to remove the network type broadcast from the interfaces. I need to remove this statement. Done. I removed it. Now IP addresses are changed. The network type is removed. Because it is frame rail, now it is going to show non-broadcast. It is going to show you non-broadcast. But we want to change it as point to point. Later we will come and change. Let me also remove from R1. Ooh. Now what on R1 I'm going to do? Focus. I'm going to remove all those things that we configured earlier on serial 2/0 by putting this command interface default interface serial 2/0. So it will remove all the configuration that we did earlier in this interface. Now what we will do next is interface serial 2/0. Listen. No shut encapsulation frame relay. That's all I'm doing here. I go out now. Then I create the 3 subinterface serial 2/0.1. You have to mention point to point or multi-point. I'm going to say point to point. IP address 10.0.0.1 255.255.255.0. IP OSPF 1 area 0. No shutdown is not needed because we did in the physical interface. Likewise, serial 2. IP address 20.0.0.1. IP OSPF 1 area C. Likewise on serial .3 IP address 30.0.0.1. That's it. Now will the neighbor be formed? No. Why? Focus. Because these are sub-interface, frame relay cannot discover the map. Earlier when I typed show frame relay map, I used to see to go to 10.0.0.2, you go to 102. The mapping was there earlier. But now there is no mapping between the IP and the DLC number. Earlier we used to have, because of the physical interface running inverse ARP. Hope you remember these words that I used in the map I showed you earlier. But now no map is coming because this is a sub interface. So what should I do? I need to go under that serial interfaces. And I need to say frame relay map. This is for IP. To go to the address 10.0.0.2, you need to take the DLC number 102. Hope you remember this number we gave, and then type broadcast. What does it say? Only frame relay interface DLC number command should be based on the point-to-point interface. Okay, sorry. So then I'll say frame relay interface DLC number. So syntax I made wrong. 102, that's all. Simple, straightforward. Do I need to say broadcast after this? Not necessary. That's all. So let us check the running configuration. Show run interface serial 2/0.1. That's perfect. This is how we have to give. We need to statically say use this DLC number. So likewise I'm going to go under, oh no, not this interface, 2.2. I'll go here and say the DLC number is 102. 102 is given, 103. Likewise for sub-interface 3, see these are all frame relay related. If you don't know this, it's okay. Alright, fine. Next, we have configured show frame relay map. These things statically we have defined manually, and it is active. It's working fine. We have manually configured these things. It's working fine. What is next? Let's go to router 2. Router 2 is running physical interface, frame relay on physical. So this will have a map, very clear map. Because this is running on a physical interface, there is no problem here. Router 2, router 3, router 4, you don't need to mention the map. Now what is next? Will I form OSPF neighbor? No. Show IP OSPF neighbor? No. Why? We have to define this. Interface serial 2/0. IP OSPF network type point to point. We have to put this on all the routers. Do show history. I'll copy this and paste it on all the routers. And when we do that, it will come back. router 2, router 3, router 4. Yeah. See, the neighbors have come now, and go now, check it, the routing table, show IP route, you got the routes. OSPF has given route. See, 2222 you have learned. Likewise, you will soon learn 333. See, 333, 444. Everything has come. Now you can ping any branch office. Even from the branch office to branch office, you can ping. So this is point to point. Point to point is, multiple subnets, and you need to define the frame relay map manually, and then neighbors are dynamically discovered. Timer. Let me show you the timer. Show IP interface serial 2/0. It is point to point. You see, and you see the timer is just 10 and 40. Point to point. Now let's go back to our presentation. We have covered all this with proper demonstration. Okay, this presentation don't have much clarity, that's why I demonstrated. This priority 0 and all we did all those 4 modes. Now the sub interface, all those stuff more clearly than this we have done. Now go through the speech. You should be understanding these things now. Take a screenshot of this. This shows you every mode, all 5 modes in one single page. Today we did the first one, broadcast, the last one, point to point. Both have 10 and 40 as a timer. This is also Cisco, this is also Cisco. Likewise, point to multipoint non-broadcast is also Cisco. Yeah. So that's the end of this chapter. We will